Mark pours milk all over Keanu Reeves, thinking it's just a joke. Unbeknownst to him, Keanu is the owner of the diner, and Mark's prank will soon have consequences. Mark, a rude and arrogant bully, walks into a small diner on a quiet street. From the moment he enters, he begins making fun of the place. He criticizes the food, calling it bland and cheap, and laughs at the old-fashioned decor. The staff, though bothered by his behavior, remains calm and professional, serving him without responding to his insults. Mark orders a milkshake, then complains about the size and taste, continuing to mock everything around him. The diner is a family-run business, and the staff takes pride in their work, but Mark doesn't care about that. He's only interested in making people uncomfortable and having a laugh at their expense. What Mark doesn't realize is that the quiet waiter he's been rude to is actually the owner of the diner. Keanu Reeves has been running the business for years, but he keeps his identity a secret from most customers. He doesn't let Mark's insults get to him and continues to serve with a calm, polite demeanor. Despite Mark's disrespect, Keanu stays patient, never showing anger or frustration. The rest of the staff quietly continues their work, trying to maintain the peaceful atmosphere. Mark's behavior might be about to take a surprising turn. Mark, still in a mocking mood, orders a glass of milk. As soon as it arrives, he decides to play a prank. Without warning, he splashes the milk all over the waiter's shirt, laughing loudly. He thinks it's funny, looking around the diner to see if anyone else is watching. The other customers are uncomfortable, but no one speaks up. The waiter, however, doesn't react to Mark's prank. Instead, he quietly wipes the milk off his shirt and simply smiles. Mark laughs even harder, thinking he's gotten away with something hilarious. He expects the waiter to get angry or at least show some frustration. But Keanu, the waiter, doesn't give him the satisfaction. He remains calm and composed, continuing to serve Mark without raising his voice. Keanu doesn't let the bully's actions bother him. He's used to rude customers, and this behavior doesn't surprise him. Keanu just keeps doing his job, offering Mark an understanding smile as if he's seen it all before. Despite the insult, Keanu doesn't make a scene. He understands that responding to anger with kindness is often the best choice, and he lets Mark's prank slide without saying a word. After spilling the milk and laughing at the waiter, Mark continues his mockery. He doesn't stop there, he makes fun of the food, complains about the service, and keeps insulting the staff. He acts as if he's in control and the people around him are beneath him. The staff remains quiet, doing their best to keep things professional despite his rude behavior. They don't engage with him, but it's clear they're getting tired of his antics. As Mark continues to act out, he overhears a conversation between two of the waiters in the corner of the diner. They're talking about how hard they've been working to keep the restaurant running smoothly. One of them mentions how much they respect Keanu, not just as a boss, but as a person. They talk about how Keanu has always been kind and patient, even when things get tough. The words catch Mark's attention, and something clicks in his mind. He starts to wonder if there's more to the waiter than he thought. He looks over at Keanu, who is still calmly serving customers and dealing with his insults without reacting. Mark's curiosity grows. Could the quiet waiter actually be someone important? A little confused and embarrassed by his behavior, Mark starts to feel uneasy. Just then, one of the waiters notices Mark's shift in attitude and quietly tells him, "That's Keanu, the owner of the restaurant." Mark's eyes widen in surprise. He had no idea who he was dealing with. Mark, now realizing who he's been disrespecting, feels a wave of embarrassment wash over him. His smug attitude fades as the truth hits him. He looks at Keanu, who is still calmly going about his work, and a sense of shame begins to grow inside him. Mark tries to gather his thoughts, but the guilt is overwhelming. He stands up and approaches Keanu, feeling a little lost. "Hey, I'm really sorry about how I acted," Mark starts, but his words come out flat, lacking any real sincerity. He feels awkward and unsure, as if he doesn't know how to fix the damage he's done. Keanu looks at him for a moment, not with anger or frustration, but with quiet patience. He knows that Mark's apology doesn't carry much weight yet, and he can see that the bully is struggling to come to terms with his actions. Instead of reacting angrily, Keanu gently gestures for Mark to follow him to a quieter corner of the diner. The other staff members continue to work, and no one pays much attention to the conversation. Keanu speaks calmly, his voice steady and calm. "You know, Mark," Keanu begins, "respect and humility are what really define a person, not arrogance or cruelty. It's easy to be rude, to make others feel small, but it takes real strength to show kindness and understanding." He pauses, letting his words sink in. None of us are above others. We all have our struggles, our challenges. And treating people with respect doesn't cost anything, but it means a lot to those around you. Mark stands there, his eyes cast down in shame. He's never heard someone speak like this before, not from someone he's insulted so carelessly. Keanu continues, his tone gentle but firm. "You may think you're better than the people you mock, but there's no real strength in that. True strength comes from lifting others up, not tearing them down." Mark is quiet for a moment, processing what Keanu has said. He feels a deep sense of regret for how he treated the staff and Keanu. The words are simple, but they cut through the arrogance he once held. Keanu's calm demeanor, his quiet wisdom, leaves Mark humbled. For the first time, Mark realizes that it's not about who's in control or who's the strongest, it's about how you treat others. He looks at Keanu, his voice quieter now. I didn't know. I'm really sorry." Keanu nods, offering a small smile. "It's not about the apology, Mark. It's about changing the way you treat people from now on." With that, Keanu walks away, leaving Mark to reflect on the lesson he's just learned. Mark stands in the corner, the weight of Keanu's words heavy on his mind. He feels ashamed of how he treated the staff, especially Keanu. For the first time, he understands just how wrong he was. His usual cocky attitude feels empty now, and he can't stop thinking about the respect he so carelessly ignored. He looks around the diner at the hard-working staff, the people who keep everything running smoothly, and realizes that they deserve respect, not insults. As he stands there, lost in thought, Keanu comes back over to him. The look on Mark's face shows he's genuinely sorry, but Keanu doesn't hold it against him. Instead, he offers a chance for redemption. "You've made a mistake, Mark," Keanu says calmly, "but you still have a chance to make things right. If you want to show that you understand the value of respect and hard work, I've got something for you." Mark looks up, surprised. Keanu points to a few tasks around the diner, like cleaning up a table, washing some dishes, and helping to sweep the floor. "You can start by helping out here. It's not easy, but it will give you a glimpse into what it takes to run a place like this." At first, Mark hesitates. He's not used to doing manual work, especially not for others. But seeing the sincere look in Keanu's eyes, he realizes that this is his chance to show he's learned something. With a deep breath, Mark nods. He picks up a rag and starts cleaning the tables, then moves to the dishes. The work is harder than he thought, but it also feels strangely rewarding. Each chore reminds him of the effort it takes to make everything run smoothly, and he begins to appreciate the work that goes into keeping the diner running. As he continues working, Mark's attitude shifts. He starts to understand that the diner isn't just a business, it's a place built on hard work, respect, and humility. He can't take those things for granted anymore. With each task he completes, he feels like he's slowly earning back the respect he lost. By the time he's finished, Mark feels a sense of accomplishment. It's not just the chores, it's the lesson he's learned about what really matters. Keanu watches from a distance, nodding in approval. Mark may not be perfect, but he's taking the first steps toward being a better person. And that, Keanu knows, is the true measure of growth. Mark has spent the entire afternoon helping out around the diner. He's washed dishes, cleaned tables, and even helped with a few other small tasks. With each chore, he starts to feel a shift inside himself. At first, the work seemed like a punishment, but now he's beginning to see it differently. The people in the diner work hard every day to keep it running, and they don't seek attention or praise for what they do. They do it because it's their job, their responsibility, and because they care about the place. As Mark works alongside the staff, he starts to feel a sense of humility he's never experienced before. The staff never once treated him like he was beneath them. They continued to smile and treat him with kindness, even after everything he'd done. Mark begins to understand that respect is something you earn, and it's not about status or power. It's about how you treat people, no matter who they are. Keanu watches Mark from the corner of the diner, his quiet presence a reminder of the lesson Mark needed to learn. Keanu never once raised his voice or tried to teach Mark a lesson through anger. Instead, he gave him the chance to make up for his actions by showing what hard work and respect really look like. Mark now understands the importance of that. He feels deeply sorry for the way he treated Keanu and the staff, but more importantly, he knows that he can be better. By the end of the day, Mark is no longer the arrogant bully who walked into the diner hours earlier. He's someone who understands that respect is earned and that it's essential to treat others with kindness, especially those who don't have to prove their worth to anyone. Before he leaves, Mark approaches Keanu again. This time, his apology is genuine. "I'm really sorry for everything," he says, looking Keanu in the eye. "I was wrong, and I didn't realize what I was doing. Thanks for giving me a chance to make it right." Keanu smiles, nodding in acknowledgement. "It's not just about saying sorry, Mark. It's about changing how you act from here on out. If you've learned that, then I know you'll be all right." With that, Mark walks out of the diner. As he leaves, he feels lighter, more at peace with himself. He's learned a valuable lesson about respect, and it's something he'll carry with him moving forward. If you like this story, subscribe for more emotional kindness stories.